everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Today is August 15th, 2016. This is show 146, and the name of the show is S.O.S. And guys, you know, when I was growing up, we always thought the S.O.S. stood for Save Our Ship, you know, in Morse code. ... dash, 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 ... SOS, Mayday. You know, you had a problem when you were at sea, that's what you did. You know, you hit the switch and you typed in the code, and I guess what happened is when the Titanic hit the iceberg, the guy at the Morse code thing, whenever you hear the term he was asleep at the switch, that's what they were talking about. He was asleep at the switch. But guys, on tonight's show, I didn't know whether to call the name of the show SOS, Jump Ship, or Abandon Ship. And you're going to say, wait, Rich, what's this with the ship, all the ships? Guys, I don't know if you've seen what's going on with Donnie Trump, but mamma mia, the Republican Party is leaving him in droves. Of course, you got people like Marty and Dave Straight, you know, the loyal Republicans, and Marty was down. He went down to see Donnie down in Fairfield. And I want to tell you guys, what a joke. What a joke. But, you know, Dave Straight and Marty, they were saying, you know, the polls are rigged. Everything's rigged. And, you know, I'm saying, why do you think it's rigged? Well, you know, on Facebook, Donald Trump has 5 times more, and Uncle Joey put up all the facts and figures on Facebook. He's got, you know, 5 million more Facebook followers, and he's got 5 million more this and this and that. And I'm saying, yeah. And they're all going to the conservative websites. And you know, all the conservatives, they're all in their little bubble together. And they all talk back and forth. So they're all saying, well, if Donnie has such a Facebook following, how could he be losing in the polls? Guys, it's really simple, you know? The polls are people that are going to vote. Facebook and stuff like that are people just talking back and forth. But they can't understand why Trump is getting his butt kicked. I'll explain it to you. He's a bonehead. It's that simple. The man doesn't make any sense. And we're going to show you tonight on the show. Because tonight, you know, what we want to do is we're going to start off with the flooding in Louisiana. And then we're going to go to all the people that are jumping ship. So I really wanted to have a life preserver for the bear, but I couldn't come up with one. But, you know, I said to Joey, Uncle Joey, I said, Joey, which would you prefer, a life preserver or a gun? Because they're becoming distraught. I mean, the whole Republican Party is falling apart. And I couldn't be any happier. And you know, like Marty was, well, I'm going to go down and show my support for Trump. And I said, you know, Marty, if the circus was coming to town, a lot of people would go down to watch it. And that's what you guys are doing. But I started asking Marty and Dave Straight about policies. Guys, we're going to show you a clip tonight. When it comes to policies, you can't ask a fact-free Republican because they don't know. But we'll have a lot of fun with that. But guys, the first clip we're going to do tonight is from Louisiana. And this is going to be one of those clips that we're going to look at, you know, 20, 40, 50 years from now. And we're going to say, how did this happen? You know, what could have possibly have caused this? So guys, first we're going to show you the clip. And I'll probably talk over the clip. But when we come on the backside, I want to try to explain what's going on. So Judy, let's have clip number 00, please.
Yeah.
Get out.
Give me a knife. Give me a knife.
Guys, look at that car. Look how it's just floating.
We're coming.
Look at that. And if these guys weren't there, what would happen?
Hey, I put the top.
This poor lady's in the
Break
car.
the window.
Put the top when I drown.
Go.
Hey, oh my God, I'm drowning.
Get
We're
in
coming.
there.
We're coming. I'm gonna break this window.
Get in
We're breaking the
there.
window. Do you have a knife? Do you have a knife? You do that. Tell me if you have a knife. I'll find out.
I don't know.
All right. Atta boy. That's it. That's it. Whip it off. Look at this, guys. You believe this? Look at this. Holy mackerel. It's a miracle.
Get that down.
And what does she say? Where's my dog? My dog.
We can't get the dog. Here. Oh. I can't get the dog. Maybe she's
Can you
gone.
believe this? Can you believe the anguish this woman is going through right now? Can you believe the sadness? And look at this. Bada bing, the guy comes up with the dog. All right, my hero. You're my hero.
Daddy, how you doing, baby?
Push the button. I know how to operate the
Guys, if I believed in miracles, I'd say that was one of them. You know, but I don't believe in supernatural shenanigans. That guy went in there and he saved her. And be thankful he was there. Just be happy they were there. They were trying to help. And this is what we do in this country. We help each other. Now you're going to say, well, how did the water get so high and so fast and what's going on? And guys, on this show, we've said this many times. We're seeing weather events where you start to ask the question, and we surround ourselves with the question marks. Is it climate change? Is it a coincidence? Or is it climate change? I mean, how many of these once in a 1,000-year floods are we going to have before the people that do the news start to say, it's climate change, it's global warming? Guys, what it is, it's physics. It's really simple. Warmer air holds more water. Very simple. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar. A warmer globe, the air holds more water. That's why when it rains so damn hard. I think they had 30 inches of rain in Louisiana. I mean, think about that. And of course, like I said, nobody will mention global warming or climate change. And why? Because we've been duped. We've been bamboozled. And the next clip is going to be on a comedy note with climate deniers and the common misconceptions. And guys, you'll be able to pick it right up. So Judy, let's have clip number 1, please.
You should probably slow down. That's a yellow light.
Well, what do you want me to do about it? It's going to be red. It's been red before. It goes in cycles. I hear we're going into a green age.
It goes in cycles, guys. Oops.
All out of beer.
That's ridiculous. You have no claims to back up your facts.
What are we gonna do? We have to stop these flames. I'm not a firefighter. I'm not qualified to make those decisions.
I can't believe
I'm not a scientist.
pregnant.
Did you use a condom?
No, of course not. They've only been proven 97% effective. There's no consensus they actually work.
Atta girl.
Hey, John, I think the engine's overheating. I don't know. It feels pretty good right here.
It's definitely cancer. My nutritionist, they said that I'm...
Ah! Funded by Big Nutrition, I'm sure your body will adapt to the cancer over time. Rubes.
Why are you listening to that old thing? You know there are alternative forms of music you could be listening to? Yeah, that are way too expensive. And how do I know they're even gonna work?
I'm breaking up with you, Brad. I'm so sorry.
I don't think so. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a mutual consensus here.
It's from the fact-free Republicans, guys. And they refuse to admit that the globe is getting warmer. Why? Because the fossil fuel industry has paid the Republican politicians to be stupid. That's what they've done. Here, we're going to get you elected. We're going to make sure you're nice and comfortable. And the one thing you're never going to admit is that the globe is getting warmer. See how it works? It's all very simple. But I tell you what, guys, when the attorney generals start to hammer Exxon and the fossil fuel companies over what they did, and when they start to put the screws to them with the RICO statues, and we've done a show on the RICO statues, I'm telling you, Exxon's going to pay through the nose for an awful long time, and they deserve it. And I'll tell you, they're evil, and they knew about this, and they knew the problems, and they refused to do anything about it. And that's what really makes me crazy. But guys, the next clip is going to be from CNN. And this is just a CNN regular broadcast, which is more or less going to explain to you what's going on. So, Judy, let's have clip number 2, please.
Active rescue operations happening right now.
Kurt, can I have some
across
volume
parts
out
of
here?
Southeast Louisiana, because the dangerous floodwaters there
Thank
are
you.
continuing to rise. Get this, in the last 24 hours, there have been dozens of people pulled from their homes, their cars, even people holding on to trees. Fortunately, they were taken to safety. And look at this, the force of the water was so strong here, it swept this semi off the road. Now, the driver, good news, was able to escape. Already, the flooding has claimed at least 3 lives. One man who was swept away is still missing, and Louisiana's governor has declared a state of emergency. CNN's Boris Sanchez is following the latest for us this morning. And again, these rescues are happening literally while we're talking right now.
Yeah, exactly, Victor. We got confirmation just a little over an hour ago that there was a rescue in North Baton Rouge. It's been ongoing since yesterday. We were stopped at a highway where officials told us they had conducted 5 rescues of people that were trying to flee these floodwaters and got into flooded roads and got stuck. They did 5 rescues in just 1 hour. You could see behind me, just when we saw you about an hour ago, the water has moved on from this area. It's receded quite a bit. And a couple of these businesses around here, there's a home down there that is certainly flooded. This business here is definitely flooded, and an appliance store behind us also flooded. I want to show you where the high water mark is on that side, just so you can get an idea of how high this water went. And this was fewer than 24 hours ago. This entire neighborhood was swept under, partly because there's a river behind us. Just behind me, there's a bridge, and so several days of rain. This storm, not particularly a strong one, but certainly a persistent one. Since Monday, this whole region has been getting pounded all the way from Florida's Panhandle to Alabama, Mississippi, and the brunt of it here in Louisiana.
Guys, you know what the best job is in Louisiana, or it will be? I'm getting a little bit of an echo now. Oh, can we shut that door, Kurt? But anyway, not a used car salesman, a new car salesman. Everybody's gonna need new cars. They're all gonna need new oil burners. They're gonna need new hot water heaters. Can you all the work, the billions of dollars that are gonna have to be spent to get to everything? I don't know why we're getting an echo. That's kind of weird, isn't it? All right, but anyway, the next clip is going to be a drone. And guys, this guy had a drone, and I'm telling you, these drones, the footage from the drones is just awesome. And the thing that I really liked about this was, it's kind of weird, but the music is almost like hauntingly beautiful. I mean, when you listen to it, you go, wow. But guys, when you see the damage, and what happens is, you know, take a good look. Some areas, most areas are underwater, but some of them, nothing happened. And I remember I was watching a guy, and the guy goes, well, you know, we've been very blessed. We've been very blessed, and we're very fortunate. We have no water in our house. And I'm saying to myself, hey, bonehead, the whole state is flooded except for your house, and you think you're blessed? Do you really think there's a God? If there was a God, why would everything be flooded and your house wouldn't? So don't think you're blessed. Send your kids to school, give them an education, let's teach them about global warming, let's teach them about what we can do to solve this problem, and let's do it. We don't need to say prayers. We can't pray away global warming. It's that simple. So don't tell me you're blessed. Don't tell me you're blessed when your state's underwater, because I don't want to hear it. All right, so the next clip, guys, it's going to be the drone footage. And, you know, we have these certain clips that we like to play, and on the good ones, I like to say, smoke if you got them. Judy, hit it. That one house, guy. There's one house there. Oh, there's a couple that are above water. But look at that devastation. Those poor people. How much time is that going to take to get all this back together? And my next door neighbor owns a ServPro franchise. Man, he'd make a fortune down there. All these houses, they need new sheetrock. Oh, mamma mia. Forget about it. I don't even want to think about it. But guys, wouldn't you agree that this drone footage is just exceptional? Look at this whole subdivision escaped. Well, that's where this is where the guy was blessed. So this subdivision was blessed. I don't know what they did. whole subdivision got hammered. Can you imagine this? And guys, one of my Facebook friends, Royd, he lives in Florida. And I told him, Royd, I said, Royd, how high above sea level are you? And he said, oh, I'm pretty good. I'm about 10 feet. I said, Royd, get prepared, kid, because nobody's safe. And look at it. Could you imagine? What are these people going to do? You can't even go home. Never mind go home. The people that are home can't get out of their houses. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, brother. And how many hundreds of thousands of dollars of RVs are just sitting there? Holy mackerel. Oh, look at that highway. Holy mackerel. It's a wake-up call, isn't it, guys? I mean, when you see something like that, and I mean, that drone footage, you can't, I mean, hey, it could happen anywhere. You know, don't forget Danbury, and for everybody that's on Facebook that watches me on YouTube, we broadcast from Danbury. And back in '53, the center of Danbury was under about 5 feet of water. And then the Army Corps of Engineers came in and they took care of everything. But guys, it happens. But the Army Corps of Engineers can't help those people. When you put that much carbon in the air, this is what happens. This is the price you pay. And we're paying the piper. It's that simple. You know, so get used to it. Just get used to it. And Royd, you might want to move to higher ground. All right, guys. Now the next part of the show is where we're going to do our Facebook favorites. So we'll get Judy all wired up in there, and we're going to start with the stills. But guys, these are all from people. I've taken the stills right off of Facebook. And when I can, I try to get the people's name so I can give them credit. So Judy, let's have still number 21, please. Okay, guys, can you lose? There you go. And you could see, guys, this is from Martha Quigley. And she put this up. How can a presidential candidate speak with a straight face about tax reform when he refuses to release his own tax returns? Judy, can you come back to me? And guys, this is a major issue. When you don't release your tax returns, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? And I think Donnie is hiding a lot. And I tell you, you know, with his bankruptcies and everybody that he screwed, and we're going to show you a couple of more people that he screwed tonight. You know, I tell you, the guy's evil. He's an evil guy. And I hope, after he loses as dramatically as I think I hope nobody in the world will even deal with him anymore. I hope he's got to go away to his own little island and we never hear from him again. Donnie, here. Have an island, shut up, go away. Nobody wants to hear you anymore. And I mean, even the simple folk are starting to get fed up with you, and that's why they're jumping ship. You know, when you start to lose the low information voters, you've got problems. All right, Judy, can we have the next one now? Oh, this is from, I can't see his name, Kurt Lauder. And back in my day, I paid for college myself with hard work. So guys, you could see the difference between 1970 and 2014. The annual tuition for Yale was $2,500. And now it's $45,000. The minimum wage per hour back then in 1970 was $1.45. Now it's $7.25. So back then, the daily hours you had to work to pay for tuition was 4.8 hours. Today, if you work 17 hours a day, how do you have time to go to class? Share of college shouldn't be a debt sentence in America. Isn't that cute? A debt sentence, D-E-B-T. All right, next, Judy. Judy, you can fade back and forth to me as we're going through this. You know, we'll have a little fun with it. There you go. This is from Jimmy Chemtrail. I work for McDonald's in Denmark, and I make $21 an hour. No, that isn't a typo. It's really my salary. I also get paid sick leave, overtime pay, guaranteed hours, and at least 2 days off a week. Oh, and our Big Macs cost just 56 cents US dollars more. Judy, come back to me. Guys, do we need to say anything else? They can do it in these other countries, but we can't do it here. Why can't we do it here? Because in America, we put profits before people. And when is this nonsense going to stop? When are we going to start to embrace the idea that we need to take care of each other? That the moochers and the takers aren't your next door neighbor. It isn't the kid that's working down at McDonald's. Never mind kid. The average McDonald's worker is a 28-year-old white woman with 2 kids. Yeah. Believe it or not, that's your average McDonald's worker. And people say, oh, it's a starting job. No, it's not a starting job. This is what's happened in America. So if the average person is going to be a white woman, 28 years old at McDonald's, why don't we want to take care of her? Why don't we want to pay her a living wage with benefits? Why? Because we want to see corporate America and the 1% walk away with the lion's share of the money? Isn't something wrong here? What are we missing? We've been brainwashed. We bought down the trickle-down economics. We bought it all. I bought it. You bought it. We all bought it. And you know what? It don't work. It's that simple. It doesn't work. Next, Judy. Judy, you didn't fall asleep, did you? Bush's Benghazis, December 2001. The embassy in Nepal, 1 dead. March of 2002 in Peru, 9 dead. 2002, Pakistan, 12. July 04, Uzbekistan, 2. October, then the list goes on and on and on. But were there any investigations by the Republicans? Nah, there was 0. And there was 0 fake outrage on Fox News. That's funny, isn't it? Next. Why do we only rest in peace? Why don't we live in peace too? Next, Judy. The Republican revolt. Hey, they don't want to know anything. Facts and figures are not their forte. All they want to do is repeat what they hear on hate radio and Fox News. Next, Judy. Which one is the real entitlement? Check out that freeloader living off the system. Social Security. Paid into it all his life to live off a measly $14,000 a year. Congressional benefits. Free health care, enormous pension, 67 paid holidays, and unlimited sick time. Guys, who's the moochers and the takers? Next, Judy. Today in school we learned about the three main branches of government: lobbyists, fundraisers, and the media. Next, Judy. You can tell Monopoly is an old game because there's a luxury tax and rich people can go to jail. Judy, come back to me. You know, guys, you hear about the luxury tax, the death tax. Fox News, the death tax. Guys, the death tax only applies to 2 people out of 1,000. 2 out of 1,000. And the luxury tax, the death tax, and the reason why they call it the death tax is to make it sound scary and evil, doesn't start until after $10 million. So the first $10 million, your kids don't pay, if you give the money to, they don't pay any tax on it. So what's the beef? The beef is you got people like Trump who are going to give their kids, well, if Trump's not broke, maybe billions. You give somebody that much money, like Trump's father gave to him, right? Shouldn't they pay tax on it? And then don't forget, you know, people say, why should I pay tax? Well, guys, the reason why is you made the money in America. You used our roads, you used our bridges, you used our infrastructure, you used our telephones, you used everything. And now you got to pay for it. And the luxury tax is a way to pay for it. But you know, they don't want to be patriotic. They don't want to be thankful that they were able to live in the best country in the world and to make all that money. No, they don't want to be thankful. It's going to be a death tax. Hey guys, the game's over. When you got a guy like me who's going out of his way to do a regular TV show, a community access TV show, something's happening in this country. And we're not going to take it anymore. And it's that simple. And Uncle Joey and all the other guys, when you can't understand science, no, it's not that they can't understand, they refuse to accept it. It's that simple. When you refuse to accept science, we all lose. Everybody, the whole country loses. So let's do ourselves a favor. Let's start to pay attention. Let's look things up, and let's stop listening to the Republican crap. I mean, because guys, enough's enough. All right, next, Judy. But we still support the nominee, and you got Mitch McConnell and what's his name, that goofy-looking guy. All right, next, Judy. Yes, the planet got destroyed, but for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value for the shareholders. And guys, that's what it comes down to. They would rather give the profits to the shareholders than to the people that helped create the profits. Next, Judy. Why do I support universal health care paid for with our taxes? Because I don't want to live in a country where people have to set up a GoFundMe page just so they don't die. And guys, isn't that a shame? I mean, we're the only country. Judy, you can come back and forth to me. Trying to get Judy. That's it, fade back and forth. There you go. Have fun, Judy. Be carefree, right? That's it. But guys, you know, universal health care, we're the only major country in the world that doesn't have universal health care. Why? Because profits are more important. And we have insurance companies. What do we need insurance companies for? You know, I told you my wife works for a chiropractor. And she said with all the different payer systems, she says sometimes it could take a girl 15 minutes just to find out the code she's got to put in to get paid. With single payer, that doesn't happen. Everybody gets paid the same. They get paid the same, they get paid on time, the money flows, everything works. Simple, we take care of each other. That's all. Put all the money together in one big pot, we all share it. You know, we take the good with the bad. Right, guys? All right, do we have any more, Judy? Was that it? I don't know. I think Judy might have fell asleep. Judy! You don't got to be a racist to vote Trump. You just got to be cool with racism. And guys, that's the truth. Wait, go back to that last one, Judy. Your beliefs don't make you a better person. Your behavior does. Any questions, guys? All right, how we doing, Judy? Was that it? Okay. Guys, now we're going to go back to the second part of the show where we're going to make fun of Donnie Trump. And I tell you, I really wanted to do this myself, but John Oliver did such a beautiful job. And I tell you, I can't say enough nice things about him. I mean, this guy is good. I mean, he is good. So, Judy, let's have some fun. Let's watch John Oliver and clip number 11.
With the 2016 election, or as you may know it, the Lady Liberty convenience store robbery gone wrong, descending into a hostage situation, and now she's demanding a chopper 2016. The two
Can I have a little volume?
Had a busy week. First, Hillary Clinton. Can we talk about that new hairdo? No, we never, ever can. She released her tax returns this week and had to navigate the fallout from the release of State Department emails. And yet, as is always the case, she was eclipsed by the imploding star that is Donald Trump, the owner of what you might describe as resting rich face. This was the 53rd consecutive week he was going to put his campaign back on track, and on Monday, he gave a big speech to outline actual details in his tax policy.
I am proposing an across-the-board income tax reduction, especially for middle-income Americans. This will lead to millions of new and really good-paying jobs.
Now, if you're thinking that's the most boring Donald Trump speech I've ever seen, that might be because he was reading that script off a teleprompter, not talking off the top of his head. So it's like watching a circus seal fold laundry. That's not the thing you normally do, and I can't wait till you get back to doing the fun stuff. But to be fair, his campaign must have been pleased to keep him disciplined and on message for an entire hour. Unfortunately, the rest of the week quickly devolved, because the very next day he made a chilling suggestion that Second Amendment people could stop Hillary Clinton, and before people could even get over that, he'd moved on to this.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton.
Wow. I tell you what, I will give Trump this. I tell you what, I will give Trump this. At least he made sure to include Hillary as co-founder. #feminism, #ISIS with her. Now, clearly, what he just said is absolutely absurd. But even when people tried to help him reframe it, he doubled down.
Conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt pressed him on that. I know what you meant. You meant that he created the vacuum, he lost the peace.
No, I meant he's the founder of ISIS.
But he's not sympathetic to them. He hates them. He's trying to kill them.
He was the founder.
He's so insistent. He's like a guy drowning but waving off a lifeboat saying, "Get out of here, I'm very buoyant. I'm the most buoyant. Everybody talks about my buoyancy. I'm a tremendous floater." Trump was forced to walk his ISIS remarks back on Friday, tweeting, "Ratings challenge CNN report so seriously that I call President Obama and Clinton the founder of ISIS," and then in all caps, "They don't get sarcasm." And yes, sarcasm is a bullshit excuse. It's the douchebag's apology. But at least he diffused the situation, which is what made it so much weirder when later that same day, he walked his walk back.
So I said, the founder of ISIS. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Then then, but not that sarcastic, to be honest with you.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You know that riddle where there are two people, one who always lies and one who always tells the truth? Donald Trump is both of those at once. And he had barely put that whole mess behind him when in Pennsylvania he started up a whole new controversy.
The only way we can lose, in my opinion, I really mean this, Pennsylvania, is if cheating goes on. I really believe it. The only way they can beat it, in my opinion, and I mean this 100%, if in certain sections of the state they cheat.
Okay. He means it 100%. So by the time this show airs, he'll presumably have said he was kidding, but not, but yes, but not, but maybe, but not, but yes, but not, but maybe. But what is really worth taking note of there and is worth thinking about is that he's suggesting the election may be stolen by his opponent, and that's actually dangerous. He is priming his supporters to question the result when he loses Pennsylvania, as polls indicate he will, and as all Republican presidential candidates have since 1988. And he's not just talking the talk here, he's asking his supporters to walk the walk.
His website now has an application that you can fill out to be a Trump Election Day observer.
Now, well, you know, in a way, we are all Trump Election Day observers. Because if you look out of your window in November and see 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, you'll know, oh shit, they just called Florida. But it does seem he actually wants people to participate. If you go to his website, which you absolutely should not, and try to sign up, you'll be asked to donate, which again, you absolutely should not do. Anyone who wants to give their money to a Manhattan narcissist whose interests begin and end with the plight of white people should keep in mind that Woody Allen's Cafe Society is getting decent reviews right now. Not great, but decent. It's one of the fine ones. We wanted to see what actually signing up involved, so we signed up without donating and received an email from the campaign saying we are going to do everything we are legally allowed to do to stop crooked Hillary from rigging this election, which is troubling because I'm not sure Donald Trump knows what he's legally allowed to do. His own attorney once had to apologize for saying you cannot rape your own spouse. And honestly, I'm surprised Trump even had an attorney. I always just presumed he got legal advice from a John Grisham paperback purchased at a white supremacist yard sale. And remember, this week was supposed to be all about his economic plan. And to be fair, he did try to get back onto a focused economic message on Friday. It's just by that point, the prompters were gone, and he was back to doing what he does best.
I love these boards. Look, here's a beauty. I love charts. I love charts. And I always said, you know, it's too tough putting a screen up. You got to get guys. It costs too much money. I don't like this much money. This is a cheap version of a screen, okay? Just as good. But you need good, strong hands. So look, you ready? So there it is.
That is just magnificent. Because just to recap, he picks up a chart and says, here's a beauty. He then utters with a straight face the sentence, I love charts, before unconvincingly claiming that only someone with big, strong hands can hold a chart up. And then he turns the chart back to him as he's clearly printed on it. Look, I cannot wait for this campaign to be over, but part of me is going to miss him when he's gone.
Guys, what's the one thing we always talk about on this show? Be specific and cite your sources, right? And I tell you, the one thing that I love to show is charts. So when I saw that, I said, hey, Donnie's stealing a page out of my book. But guys, if you take a look at the chart, I mean, even though it looked like it fell off a cliff, it didn't show you the source. It didn't tell you what it was. But guys, you could take a look at this chart. And you see, oh, I always get this backwards. But guys, if you look over here, you can see the amount of carbon. And this is a line, and the amount of carbon in the air over the last 800,000 years has never gone, boy, this is hard to do, never gone this high. So we love charts, and this is a chart. Geez, now I wonder if you looked at this chart, if you were a reasonable person, Would you say this chart was going up or down? I think if you follow the lines, you could see that it's going up. And guys, believe it or not, this is a chart from NOAA, and this is the global temperature, and this was done by NASA, and that's why we always cite our sources, so that this way when somebody says, where are you getting your information from? We're getting it from the horse's mouth, from NASA and NOAA, the people that we trust. But if you talk to a Republican, what will they tell you about these charts? Oh, that's all that data's been made up. It's been fudged. Stop. So guys, the next clip, we want to show you some Republican voters. This is where it gets fun. And these Republican voters want to take America back again. They don't know what they want anymore. And I tell you what makes it even more fun is they tell you they don't know what they know. So Judy, let's have clip number 12, please.
What are the policies from Mr. Trump that you like?
Obviously, build the wall is very important to people from Texas. What about you?
Any others?
Well, the economy. I mean, Obama's trashed our economy.
But what's his policy?
His policy?
Oh, well, we don't know the policy.
He's a jobs
really.
guy. He's a business guy. He will bring business people who know what they're doing.
Okay, but that's not the policy. What's the policy? Can you name any policies?
That doesn't bother me. I'm more of a visionary. So when we get down to the details later, that's fine with me.
He loves America as much as I do, and he loves our vets, and I'm from a family of vets. So
Are those policies?
No, but that's enough for me.
Can you name me any of his policies?
I have them printed out in my briefcase.
I like the idea that he's talking about $4 trillion that we wasted on the wars and nothing to show for it. Take some of this oil and take care of our veterans. And I like the immigration policy. We can't have all these people coming in and not know who they are, where they're going.
I am a fan of most of his policies. I really am. I mean, I think he will, as opposed to our other candidate, I think he's going to appoint Supreme Court justices that I can support. I'm a supporter of his immigration plan. I'm a supporter of his anti-health care plan, if that's how you properly say that.
I'm not sure.
Yes, I'm a fan.
Tell me, which policies of his do you like?
Oh my goodness. Everything he stands for.
Which is?
Woo! The border. You know, the trade. I mean, he's going to build our military back up. He is for everything that America used to be. And so we want to make America back great again.
So we want to take America back great again. America back great again. That's it. Guys, if you want to have some fun on Facebook, Judy, okay, beautiful. Guys, go on Facebook, and when you start to get into a conversation with any of the Republicans, ask them a simple question. What are the policies? And guys, they won't know. And if they look it up, guess what? They're going to be shocked because it's going to be one of the few things that they ever look up. Now, guys, it's, you know, they could do the same thing with Democrats. You could always find people that are ignorant. But, you know, most of these Republican people have been brainwashed. And I tell you, the next clip we're going to do is from the Young Turks. And he interviewed these two black girls, Diamond and Silk. And these two black girls are big Trump supporters. And guys, I'm telling you, this interview is so much fun, and it's a little long, but just, I'm going to talk over the clip because I want to have as much fun as Cenk Younger is having. But guys, just listen to these, listen to their thoughts, listen to their, to the way their brain processes this information. And just listen to their responses, and you're going to have a lot of fun. So once again, smoke if you got 'em. Judy, Number 13, please.
He's not embarrassed or ashamed of us. That's what I love about him.
Okay, so
that's why we don't vote for him.
If you say that President Obama hasn't done enough for the African American community, I hear you, and that is a very legitimate debate. But if you say he's not a real citizen, that definitely has racial undertones. You know he's a citizen.
Hold on.
You know he's an American.
See how he got the story wrong? Let me go ahead and get him straight, because you about to get this twisted. I didn't say that. I'm just telling you what people talking about in the hood undercover.
But you know Obama's an American.
I don't know what he is. I don't know
Come
what he
on.
is. I don't know
You know he's an
Listen,
American.
If he's an American, okay, be American. The thing that I want you to understand is that the American people are hurting. The American people are upset. The American people are frustrated and angry under his policies, the things. It's like he's naive and he don't have a clue as to what we need.
I don't know what he is, but I know what he's not. He's not for the American people.
Right.
Why do you say he's not for the American people? You can disagree with his policies, and I disagree with a lot of his policies. But it's a different thing to say that he's not for the American people.
When we see him wanting to bring in refugees, and we don't know how to properly vet these people, but then we have homelessness here, we have our veterans that's not being taken care of, we have people living in poverty here. How can you go help other people and not help your own people here? Whether you're African American, white American, Asian American, Hispanic American, you know why we love Donald Trump. He wants to put the American people first. It's time for us to be put first.
But guys, we're all Americans, and we grow the country with bringing in immigrants. So for example, first of all, we have the toughest refugee laws in the world. They have to wait 18 months. It is a stringent security. They are. They most certainly are. You know that some European countries have let in 1 million Syrian refugees, and we're arguing about whether we should allow 10,000 in 18 months from now.
Well, if we was that safe and secure, then why did that happen down there in San Bernardino? Remember that in California?
They're not Syrian refugees.
Well, I don't. But see, but they came in on a visa. Them people came in on a fiancé visa. We didn't know how to properly vet people.
You're gonna stop all visas?
We're not saying stop all visas, but we have to find a way to properly vet people before when they come from different countries that want to chop off our heads or gun us down.
But you see, guys, Syria does. All the people in Syria don't want to chop off our heads. So when you say people coming from that country, in fact, the refugees are running from ISIS. They're running from ISIS. They hate ISIS.
That the current administration, that the current administration and Hillary Clinton helped create. Because they went in and destabilized countries. We got to stop doing that. Why are we always meddling in somebody else's business?
So then let me ask you guys about that. So Donald Trump says he's going to make us super safe and he's going to be tough on ISIS, but he also says he's not going to meddle. So what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to bomb it or not bomb it?
He means just what he said. Listen to what he said. He said all those things. That's what he means.
But that's logically inconsistent. But no, I'm asking you. You're
right. He want to nitpick, and all he want to do is try to debate Don. He tell him he can't debate me. You can't debate Don. You're not going to debate me.
I thought that's what we were doing here. So, my friends, help me out. Is he going to bomb ISIS or is he not going to bomb ISIS? Is he going to meddle or is he not going to meddle?
He going to take out ISIS. He going to, and let me tell you something about Donald Trump.
Then he's meddling, isn't he?
Wait. Donald Trump is like this here. He ain't gonna just tell you how I'm gonna do it. That's the problem. We always telling people what we gonna do. And that's why we get caught riding dirty. We can't, that ain't how you fight the enemy. You lay low. You sit back. That's right. That's how you do that. And then you put your plan into action. You got to know how to fight.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
know that this is what every president that hasn't, every candidate that hasn't had a plan has said for the last 40, 50 years in America. Oh, I got a secret plan, but I can't tell you. But if you elect me, then I'll unleash my secret plan. That's not how it works. We have got to make a decision on who is going to be the better president.
We have made a...
So you're going to rely on a secret plan? Okay, you know what? Hillary's got an even more secret plan. It will annihilate ISIS in a second, but I can't tell you what it is.
We have made a decision. 14 million people got out and voted for Donald J. Trump. We've made a decision. We know he's going to be the best man to do the job. We can't depend on crooked Hillary.
But you don't even know what his plan is.
We can't depend on crooked Hillary. She didn't have a plan for the men of Benghazi. She was at home chilling.
Benghazi,
how we going to expect for her to protect us and she couldn't protect those poor men?
There was 9 Republican reports that explain that in fact they did nothing wrong. Republican reports. They did nothing wrong.
Reports, guys.
You can be naive. Okay?
It's not about a naive. It's about all those Republicans that investigated that wanted to get Hillary Clinton so bad.
No,
and they got nothing on her, and they come out here and they lie and lie and lie. So, okay, so now let me ask you guys something. Were you always Republican, or did Donald Trump make you Republican?
No, he didn't have to make us Republicans. Let me tell you how that went down. He was a Republican, and I said, you know what, to vote for him, we have to be Republican. So what we did back in September, we switched our party from Democrat to Republican to vote for him. Not only did we do that, we were so excited about Donald J. Trump, we started something called the Ditch and Switch Now movement, where we had other Democrats to come off that Democratic plantation that we call it, and jump onto the Trump train so they can vote for Donald J. Trump in the primaries in the general election. That's how he had 14 million people vote for him.
Okay, I can't stand it when people talk about plantations. That's not the right terminology. Okay.
Well, what is it? Let's tell you something.
No,
what you call it?
Look, it's one thing. There's the conservatives paint it like, oh, they just want to give handouts. No, it's not about that. It's saying, for example, Bernie Sanders says, let's give you a free college education, so that is a hand up. That's an opportunity. Now, I'm not going to give you a car. I'm not going to give you shoes. I'm not going to give you a TV. I'm going to give you a shot at the American dream. You guys should love that.
Hold up. Anybody that's giving you free education, that's control education. Can they go to Harvard? What kind of school you got them going to? That's like a slave mentality. That's like the master just telling you what he wants you to learn.
No, he's saying you go to Harvard. But I'm going to give you free money for a state school. He's not stopping you from going to Harvard. Go to Harvard.
These young people got to understand this here. You have to work for what you get. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul, and nothing is for free. Sugar ain't for free, and when they give you something, they only going to give you the crumbs, baby. They going to give you the bare minimum. They ain't going to give you nothing nice. They not going to give you nothing nice.
When they give it to you, they can control you.
That's right. People don't want to be controlled.
Okay, so did you guys care about politics before, or is this your political awakening with Trump?
This is our political awakening. Because now we see we can think for ourselves. We don't need the media feeding us a narrative and telling us who to think for. Black people has been conditioned to vote one way. Just because we black don't mean we have to vote Democrat. We can vote for somebody else. We can vote Republican, we can vote right, and we can vote for the man that has the master plan to make this place great again.
But remember, it's a secret master plan. We don't really know what it is.
Okay,
so
if you look
let's
around
hope
at
for
the
the
people,
best.
if you look around at the people that's telling everybody what they plan to do, look at this country, 19 trillion plus in debt. Unemployment rate is sky high. You can't tell the enemy what your plan is because they will counteract it.
But
guys, you know, it's a shame we couldn't play it till the end. But at the end, you know, you say to yourself, why do people do stuff like this? Well, at the end of the clip, they give you the directions to get to their site so you can buy their Trump paraphernalia. But guys, the thing that I love about that clip that we really want to think about is Trump wants to keep his plans secret. The secret is he has no plans. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Toodles.